Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode on Season 5 of the Raincraft server. You may have noticed what this is. I built a little stone farm down under the tower. I didn't really do any recording of it because I figured it's just kind of little pools of lava and water and it's not really all that interesting. What is interesting is what I'm going to be doing to make this better and what I'm going to be using it for. And that is today's main focus in this episode that is definitely not late. I'm not going to hear anything about it. I don't have any excuses this time. I just didn't find the motivation to make a video last week. So what is it you're going to be doing to make this better, you ask? Well, first of all, I can't insta-mine stone yet. And you want to know what else I did between episodes? I collected some rather dangerous items, you might call it. So first off, we're going to go ahead and go kill these withers real quick. And I am going to set up beacons all over my base. And when I say all over my base, I mean in one spot in the middle, because my base is small enough to where it will cover the whole area. I'm going to stop talking. Let's go kill these withers. Hi, Editor Cubeman here. Just wanted to hop in and let you guys know that from here until roughly 4 minutes into the video, my mic glitched out, so the audio you'll hear is actually me voiced over top. It might sound a little bit off time, but it should still be watchable. Anyways, enjoy. Alright. End thingy is set up, and we are going to get ready to kill these withers. I'm pretty sure I know how this is working, but I'm not entirely sure I have it right, but I followed a video, so it should be fine. Go ahead and drop down the legs and the arms and the body parts and things, and let's just go ahead and drop all these heads. Hopefully I don't explode. Alright, I'm supposed to place the last one in the middle. This should be fine. It looks fine. Yep, it's fine. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and skip past this part because it's kind of boring to just watch me hit a bunch of withers over and over. Alright, beacons are in place. They're all set up with all of the different effects that I want. And Gian is AFK at my base again. Alright, Gian's in the hole down there. We're gonna go ahead and keep working on the farm here. The next thing that I need to do with this is add, first off, the storage needs to be way larger. But also, I need to add an etho clock that goes as long as it takes to break each pickaxe that I use. But first, I'm going to go ahead and have to time that, because I need to know how long the etho clock needs to be, so that I'm not just getting extra pickaxes. And to do that, I've got plenty of villagers over here that I can cheaply trade for a whole bunch of pickaxes, so I'm going to go ahead and grab those, and let's go time this. Alright, exactly 16 minutes and 30 seconds later, the pickaxe broke, and so I'm going to go ahead and set the etho clock to that time. I'm going to add probably about 2 or 3 minutes of a buff, just in case. And yeah, this storage definitely needs to be a ton larger. Alright, the etho clock is prepared. As you can see here, lots of random redstone that I'm not really going to explain right now, but pretty much this should go for 20 minutes. Before it will give a single pulse that will go up to this dropper up here, which will shoot a new pickaxe to me. I'm going to go ahead and run a test, and as soon as this thing is working, I'm going to run it overnight because I'm tired and it's getting late. Alright, it is officially the next day. All of the pickaxes that I put in there, which I said was 13, but it was actually 10, did successfully get used up by the machine. I would assume, considering how much stone I have now, got thrown into my inventory and I mined it all, and I already explained how this thing works. I only put 10 pickaxes in it, and I'm going to show you the yield now. I don't actually know how long it took for this to run because I was asleep for far longer than it definitely took, but just those 10 pickaxes filled this entire row of stone and up to here. So, what is that? 9.5 double chests of stone overnight. It also gave me all of this area full of cobblestone, and I'm not entirely sure why, but for some reason only the cobblestone ended up in that chest in the first row. So if anyone has any ideas as to why it does that, let me know, because I'm kind of interested as to why. I probably just accidentally forgot to put Silk Touch on one of the pickaxes, honestly, but I have no idea. Anyways, before I move on to do what I'm actually making all of this stone for, Revan has mentioned he needs a bit of stone because he has a bunch of masons that he wants to trade for emeralds with. And as you may know by now, I've got a lot of stone. So for today's good deed, I'm going to go ahead and just drop him off 2 shulker boxes of stone. Aha, there he is. Stone for the stone man. Okay, so I've been delaying this long enough, so it's time that I finally explain to you what I'm doing with all of this unnecessary amount of the most common block in the game, stone. Today's episode, based off the title, you might have guessed. I am going to plan out the entire layout of my base city. And to do that, I'm going to do that with either stone or stone slabs. I haven't really decided yet. I'll have the outlines of roads and buildings, and then probably little signs of what I'm going to put in those spaces. So unfortunately, this base probably isn't going to look super pretty until all of the buildings are done, but that's fine with me, because, you know, it's a base. So this is going to be a whole ton of work, and it's probably going to take a while, so we're going to go ahead and hop into a time lapse. So let's go. Alright, we interrupt this time lapse because I paused and I decided, after telling myself I was going to mark out the roads and stuff and just making the roads, that first off there's a few new details that I want to introduce to this area, but also I don't actually think I want to mark out each building in advance. I do know what I want to do for building around the iron farm, but other than that I don't actually have any specific plans in mind right now. So I'm just going to make the roads all nice, but then I also have an idea that I want to point out. You'll notice down here there is a break in the pathway, and there is also a small dip in that break. You'll also notice there's a big little gully down in the middle here. I think you can take a guess as to what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of all of the dirt there, turn it into stone, and we're going to fill it with water. So we can go ahead and continue this time lapse. Alright, and here we have it. The water is all filled in, the walls are cleaned up. I cleaned up the bridges and things a little bit, and just in general, this is looking pretty incredible. I'm starting to think that maybe I am better of a builder than I thought I was. Anyways, you might have noticed I still haven't actually built the bridge yet, and that's because I want to make sure the waterfall looks perfect before I start building something over top of it. So we're going to go ahead and break this wall. I've lined out what I want to get rid of with cracked stones, and this might end badly. Alright, let's go see how it looks. Not half bad. Oh, that was just a weird glitch. Okay, this is looking pretty good. I think I'm going to go ahead and find some cobwebs and add a little splashy zone down at the bottom, and maybe get rid of all the dirt that's behind the water. But other than that, this looks pretty nice. The cobwebs are all down in place. The bridge is built. Pretty simple bridge, actually. All of the water is all clear, no dirt behind it. So now there is one last thing that I want to add, and that actually involves going into resource packs and getting rid of the no beacon texture. because once I do that, you'll notice the beacon is actually inside the water here. So I'm going to make a little floating structure here that makes the beacon look kind of cool, and then I'm going to leave the beacons on because it looks also kind of cool. And there we have it, a structure covering up the beams down in the water. I might end up changing this later, but for now this works fine. And of course I added a little access door if I need to go change them at any point. But yeah, overall, there are a lot of really easy possibilities with this place. I already have a really cool idea for that kind of cave-looking entrance over there that I'm not going to share now because that'll be fun as a little surprise. But I'm starting to run out of time in today's episode, so before I go, I wanted to address something that I actually mentioned at the beginning of last episode. And I was looking back and I kind of really didn't do much with it. I kind of just neglected it. Is this room. This is my secret attic in quotation marks in my tower up here. And as I mentioned, this is my very first wooden pickaxe. It's kind of hard to see that it's wood because it's so dark because I used tinted glass for some reason. But yeah, this is the beginning of the kind of memory room, if you'll call it that. And eventually, once I move out of the starter tower into a big storage room and things like that, I'll probably dedicate the entire tower to like a memory room. And I want to start collecting maps that are all locked in time of my base, because, you know, there's going to be a lot of steady progress on this place. But yeah, that's going to do it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and per usual, please do consider subscribing if you haven't already, and I will see you dudes in the next episode.